You land at the airport. Your watch says 3 p.m. Your body says it is 3 a.m. You feel awake but wrong. Hungry but not hungry. Tired but wired. Something inside you did not travel with the plane. But the real answer is far stranger than jet lag. Your body runs on a clock. Not the one on your wrist. A biological one. It sits deep in your brain, in a tiny cluster of cells called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. Scientist Colin Pittendrigh discovered this internal rhythm decades ago. He found that nearly every living thing, from fruit flies to humans, runs on a cycle close to 24 hours. Your clock does not care about time zones. It only cares about light. Every morning, light hits your eyes. That light travels straight to your brain clock. It tells your body when to release hormones, when to raise your body temperature, when to feel hungry, when to feel sleepy. For your entire life, this system worked perfectly. Sunrise meant wake up. Sunset meant wind down. Then you got on a plane. When you cross time zones fast, your body clock cannot keep up. Your watch changes instantly. Your internal clock does not. It still thinks you are back home. This gap is called circadian misalignment. Your organs are not all on the same page either. Your liver, your heart, and your gut each have their own smaller clocks. Researcher Till Renneberg studied this and found something surprising. Different organs adjust to new time zones at different speeds. Your brain might catch up in 2 days. Your gut can take a full week. That is why your appetite feels so strange after a long flight. Part of you is still eating breakfast at midnight. Why does this even matter? Because your ancestors never needed a system for this. Humans evolved on foot. Nobody walked fast enough to outrun the sun. Crossing what we now call a time zone on foot could take weeks. Your body clock had all the time it needed to adjust, one sunrise at a time. The airplane broke that rule. You can now cross 10 time zones in half a day. Your biology was never built for that kind of speed. So what actually happens inside you? Flying east is harder than flying west. Ask any frequent traveler, and they will tell you the same thing. Scientists have an explanation. Your natural body clock runs slightly longer than 24 hours. That makes it easier to stretch your day, which is what happens when you fly west. It is much harder to shrink your day, which is what flying east demands. This is why a trip from New York to London often feels rougher than the return flight home. Your hormones scramble too. Melatonin, the hormone that makes you sleepy, gets released at the wrong hour. Cortisol, the hormone that wakes you up and keeps you alert, spikes at the wrong time as well. This is why you can feel exhausted and jittery in the same hour. Your body is running 2 schedules at once, and neither one matches the clock on the wall. Athletes know this problem better than almost anyone. Sports scientists have tracked something called the jet lag effect on performance for years. Teams that fly across several time zones before a big game often perform worse, even when every player insists they feel fine. One well-known study looked at professional sports teams and found that teams traveling east lost more often than expected, purely based on how many time zones they had crossed. Reaction time slows down. Decision-making gets foggy. Coordination between hand and eye grows less precise. None of this shows up on a scoreboard as jet lag. It just looks like a bad game. Now here is the part that should really surprise you. You do not need to fly around the world to feel this. Even staying up late on weekends and sleeping in creates a smaller version of the same effect. Scientists call it social jet lag. Your body shifts its clock on Friday and Saturday night, then gets yanked back on Monday morning. Millions of people live in a permanent, low-grade version of jet lag without ever boarding a plane. Think about your own week. Late night on Friday. Late wake up on Saturday. Then Monday arrives and your alarm goes off at the usual time. Your body is not ready. It is still living in Saturday's schedule. That heavy, foggy feeling on Monday morning is not really about too little sleep. It is your internal clock trying to realign itself, the exact same struggle a traveler feels after landing in a new country. So how does your body eventually catch up? Slowly. One day at a time, guided by light. Morning sunlight is the strongest signal your brain clock understands. Get outside early in your new time zone, and your internal clock begins shifting toward the new schedule. Avoid light at the wrong hours, and the shift slows down. This is the same tool your ancestors used walking across continents, just compressed into a matter of days instead of weeks. Every time you board a plane, you are asking millions of years of biology to do something it was never designed to do. Your body is not lazy. It is not broken. It is simply following instructions written long before airplanes existed, following rules built for a world where the fastest way to cross a time zone was on 2 feet. You land at the airport. Your watch says 3 p.m. Your body says something older, something patient, something still catching up to the world you built around it.